So this video is just going to be describing the difference between fitting steel wheels, normal OEM car wheels and proper load weighted wheels to a van. Now obviously when the van is new it generally comes with steel wheels. Steel wheels themselves are a lot stronger than alloy, that's why you still only see relatively thin steel, but as I said, they're always made to suit the weight of the actual van itself. The issue comes when people want to take the steel wheels off and want to put something like a factory car wheel on instead. Now the car wheels themselves are always made to a tolerance of the weight of the car itself. Now these are 17-inch wheels, these came off a Golf, and in theory they would fit straight onto this VWT4 because they've all got the same 5x112 stud fitment. The issue comes when, as I said, this wheel itself, it was only made for a Golf. A Golf probably weighs less than 2 tons, fully loading, full maximum weight allowed, is still probably well under 2 tons. So these wheels are probably only designed for maybe 500–600 kilos maximum. Now the weight of this VWT4, it has a maximum allowed gross vehicle weight of 2.8 tons. So in theory you need at least 700 kilo rated wheels per corner, so per wheel. And this is the wheel itself, not the tyre, this is just the wheel itself. The tyre rating itself is a totally different thing altogether. Now when I've gone out and I've bought some wheels for this van, as I say, because I know I need a minimum of 700 kilos per wheel, I've went out and bought some proper load rated wheels. These are Wolfrace wheels, and if you look on the inside of one of these wheels, you can see right there, it says the maximum load is 960 kilos per wheel. So that itself is way above and beyond what would actually be required for this van. But obviously the higher the rating, the safer it's going to be, because you don't really want to be running anything that's running at its maximum all day long. Like, think of an engine. An engine can rev to 6,000 revs, but you're not going to be driving at 6,000 revs constantly because you're running the fear that something's going to go wrong, blow up or have a disaster. And that's just going to be the same when you're running wheels that have come off a car that aren't designed for the weight of a van. Obviously they'll go on, they'll be fine, but if you're running the weight of your van at its maximum, and if you hit any potholes or anything like that, you're going to stand a bigger chance of having damage to the wheel than you would if you had a load rated wheel or a steel wheel instead. Now if you aren't sure what your actual weight is of your vehicle, generally there's a plate under the bonnet that'll have a stamp on it, and that'll show the combined full gross vehicle weight that's allowed of the vehicle. By that you then just basically divide it by 4, and that's how you find out how much of a load rating that you need on the wheel itself. As I say, this is just the wheel, this isn't actually talking about the tyres either, that's totally different. But I'll just show you the VIN plate on the van that I'm running here, just to show you an example of where you can find out exactly what weight vehicle you're running. Right, so this is the front slam panel of my van, and as you can see here, just on this plate, these are the gross vehicle weights for the actual vehicle itself. So the total combined weight, 2.8 tons, and that's 1.5 tons over the front axle and 1.49 tons over the back. But obviously, as I say, the easiest way to work it out is just to divide the total gross just by 4, and that's the weight rating minimum that you should be fitting to your actual vehicle. Now if you are contemplating running aftermarket wheels and you're not sure what the weight rating is, a lot of aftermarket alloys like the Wolfrace, the BKs, this, that, the other, a lot of those will actually stamp on the inside of the wheel. I say this one had that 960 stamp there, and a lot of other wheels will have them stamped generally on the inside of the spoke somewhere. If the wheel itself doesn't have a weight rating stamp, it will generally have a model number, and that's where you generally have to do some sleuthing online, trying to find out the make, the model, and then hope that you can find somewhere that actually lists its weight rating. But as I say, the vast majority of wheels that are designed for cars are not designed for the weight of a van. If you're trying to find the weight rating of an official wheel, this one is a proper VW one, and generally the official wheels that came straight off the cars themselves don't have weight ratings on. I'd say a lot of the aftermarket ones do when it's stamped inside the rim. but official wheels that came with the actual cars generally don't. Now sometimes they'll have a make and again a model stamp. On this one, for example, that will be the model of this wheel. This one itself is a Ronal. So it's an official VW Ronal wheel. But as I said, again, to find out what the actual official weight rating of this would probably be quite difficult. You'd either have to contact VW, Ronal, or do some Google sleuthing with that sort of model number, and that's what you'd need to search, regardless of whether it was a VW wheel, an Audi wheel, anything that's official. You're only ever going to have model numbers stamped into the wheels. It's only going to be the aftermarket ones generally that do have the stamps inside. Now, a lot of the larger aftermarket wheels that are made for cars, some of them will be stamped up to 690 kilos. That itself would be suitable for some of the lighter vans. As I say, this one is the 2.8 ton T4, so this is like the heaviest variant of the van. Now if you had one of the special 800s, the 888s, you could get away with a 690 rated wheel on it. But as I say, if you've got one of the heavier vans, or you just want to be running safer than sorry, you always want to be going higher than that itself. Now once you've actually decided what wheels you're going to be fitting, as I say, ideally there should be load rated wheels like these that are in excess of the total combined weight of the van. As I say, I know a lot of people still fit Passat wheels, Golf wheels, Jetta wheels, this, that, the other, anything like Audi A4, A6 wheels, anything that has the same sort of stud fitment. And I think by fitting the load rated tyre, that makes it safe. As I say, ideally you really want to be fitting a load rated rim and tyre. On the tyres themselves, all the tyres have a weight rating stamp on them. As I say, this Golf one is a 94W. That itself will easily cope with the weight of the van, of the Golf that this came off, but that 94W is well under the weight rating again of this van itself. So if you're running anything with that sort of weight rating on the tyre, then again you're just going to be running into potentially running risks of the tyre itself causing damage just because it's being ran at its maximum weight rating or beyond. Now on the wheels that I've got here, these have a 101 rating and they are an XL extra load. And again, the 101 rating is perfectly fine for the weight of the van itself. You can go higher, you can go 103, 105 and beyond, but I say 101, that's still plenty fine for the weight of this actual van that I'm running here. So I'm just hoping this video might have helped some people who have been debating of getting rid of the actual steel wheels and wondering what type of wheels to go for, what the difference is between a load rated wheel and a normal car wheel, the difference between a load rated tyre and a normal car tyre. As I said, it's just going to be a case of it's more safety than anything else. You don't want to be running anything that's running at its maximum tolerance or beyond, because as I say, you're already going to be inviting trouble. It's always going to be best to be running safer than sorry, and as I say, that way you're always going to be running load rated wheels and load rated tyres. Now I'm going to crack on and change the rest of my wheels now for these load rated wheels and tyres. That video will be on my channel, as well as everything else that I've done to this van, conversion wise, repainting wise, everything's all documented on my channel. So if you found the video useful, please do subscribe below and do have a look at my channel. As I say, there's plenty of videos on there. It's running around 50-60 videos in total now, covering the entire conversion of this van from a bog standard motorbike delivery panel van into a fully DVLA registered camper van with a full colour change using Rust-Oleum paint as well. So as I say, I hope you found the video useful, and thanks for watching. Cheers.